Today we're looking at the new speech poster. What immediately stands out in the poster is the river, which symbolizes the flow of our thoughts. These may be thoughts about speech, about the things we wish to say, but also just thoughts about our own self-image. As stammering and speech blocks persist in time, the river becomes full of ships which have sunk, forming our own image of ourselves. On the river you can see various ships. If you look at the sails, they each represent a piece of communication. They range from being not important, such as a phone call to a friend who we speak often to making a presentation somewhere. You can see it has 4 stars, so it's something which is very important to us. As you can see, the scanner scans all these flags, and depending on their importance, the dam may close. If a situation is particularly important, the dam is much more likely to close. The scanner scans the importance of communication. In the watchtower, a decision is made as to what is going to happen, whether the dam will be fully closed, whether it will be partially closed, or whether it will remain open. The dam represents our whole body. So closure might involve things happening with the mouth, or a lot of tension in the body, or an inability to produce words when we have a speech block. Let us now think about the choices we can make when we face a difficult situation. These are represented by the ships which have sunk. To the very left, we can see a ship which has sank, and that was through our own decision. We knew we will not be able to say something, so we just decided to give up on it. The next ship which has sank is the one just in front of the dam. This is when we decided to say something. We were in the middle of saying it, in the middle of the situation, hoping that everything will be fine. And what happened is that the dam closed, we had a speech block, and it was a failure for us. Beyond the dam there are some other ships, some which look completely fine. These are the times in our lives when we manage to say something, but one of the ships has a ripped sail. This represents the symptoms of stammering. It may be repetitions, it may be hesitations. We all want nice and fluent speech, but sometimes it doesn't come out like that. Let's now turn our attention to the camouflage ship. This ship is designed to fool the scanner. It involves changing words to words which might be easier to say, perhaps finding synonyms, or using words which we don't really want to use, but for which we have no choice. It also involves pretending that everything is fine, that we have fluent speech, and that we don't have a problem with stammering. This ship can be particularly challenging because it takes away a lot of our energy. We have to think carefully. Will I be able to say this word? Do I need to replace it? When is the best moment to say something? It's incredibly difficult and tiring. Let's now look at the raft. This represents non-verbal communication. Rather than say something, we might use a hand gesture, such as pointing to a banana rather than saying the word. We might also use other things, such as communication online, maybe sending text messages. This makes communication much easier because we don't have to say anything. The downside is we might not be able to convey as much information, as speech carries a lot of factors which can't be shown by sending a text message. But sadly, there are some situations for which we cannot use a raft, such as saying good morning to a neighbor, or even situations at school, at work. Sometimes we have to make a phone call and we cannot send a text. So this sadly doesn't always work. Let's turn our attention to the porter, who is the man next to the purple truck. The role of the porter is to carry information on our behalf so that we do not have to speak. We can divide porters into two groups. There are the positive porters and the negative porters. The positive porters help us in situations where we know we will struggle. This might be making an important phone call or getting something done in person, such as going to a bank. In these situations, they are incredibly helpful because they do something for us which we would not have managed ourselves. However, the negative porter can take away a lot of our independence. They might do everything for us, so we do not have to speak at all. Let's look at the person in the white cap. This is the manager. Their role is to provide us with motivation. As with the porter, we can divide these into positive and negative. The positive manager can be a great person. They provide us with positive motivation, encouraging us to try new situations, to go to places we maybe wouldn't have gone before, and to try to say things. They give us a lot of independence in our lives because we have a feeling we can do some things ourselves. With the negative managers, however, things are slightly different. They may put pressure on us to go to places we know we really won't be able to manage, where we know we might have speech blocks. Managers might be parents or teachers. These are people with authority who want to help us. Let's look at the middle of the poster. There we can see a large crane. The role of the crane is to lift us up, whether to make our speech more fluent or to lift us out of a challenging situation. Cranes are people with whom we feel comfortable, with whom our speech is better, and with whom we have a lot of confidence. These may be friends or family. Let us now turn our attention to the trucks. These are institutions which make life much easier. They help us to carry communication without having to speak. These may include various social media services, such as Facebook or Twitter, but also things like online shopping or various online communities. These provide support which would be very difficult to access if we had to only use our speech. Again, these make life a lot easier, but they mean that we withdraw from communication. If you look at the ships, they carry all our ideas and our thoughts. When the ship sinks, or if we decide to abandon our communication, the thoughts are tipped out to the side. These unspoken words form the golden mounds. These are things we hoped to say, but we did not say. And over time these mounds become bigger and bigger as we find that we cannot say more and more things, and we have to keep them to ourselves. People with emotional speech blocks really have two choices to make. They can either accept the situation with the dam and with all the sinking ships and with the golden mounds, or they can try to do something else. They can try to build a new channel of communication, which we can see on the top left. I hope this poster has helped you to better understand the complicated structure of emotional speech block syndrome. If you would like to find out more, please visit our website newspeech.co.uk and please subscribe to our channel.